Welcome to the Ska History Hour with your host, Daryl Rubio, wherein the purpose of this channel is to spread awareness of ska music and its subgenres to the world. Our guest today is Adam Davis from Omnigone in Northern California. Adam, we appreciate the time that you're taking to speak with us, or me, to share your stories and music with the ska community. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in the band?
Hey, I'm Adam D. I am the singer in Omnigone. I started this band with Barry Crapini of the Blast Bandits. We played music in a couple other bands before this, and we love playing ska punk music mixed with hardcore. And yeah, I can't I we started this band with very low expectations of we were going to just record some music and throw it up online for free. And then now we're getting ready to go to England for our second time. So
Oh,
it's going
nice.
it's going okay.
Nice. Very nice. When's that trip to England?
First week of April.
Okay.
So it's coming up here pretty quick. Got all our flights paid for. We've got a van rental sorted. Got gear sorted. Kill Lincoln's going out there with us. It's
Oh,
like
cool.
we're calling it the UK leg of the Bad Time Records tour.
Okay.
So we're only doing one date here in the States at Gilman. So this is kind of our Bad Time Records tour.
Yeah. Yeah. And Half Past Two is going to play with you in Gilman, right? In Berkeley.
That is true. Yeah,
That's right.
they're doing that leg of the tour. So the first leg is with a new band, Sorry Sweetheart from Denver.
Hmm.
And then the day before we play that show in Gilman, uh I think that I think Half Past Two picks up like that next day, which is with us.
Yeah.
And then they do the second half of the leg.
Yeah. We just had Tara on last week. We were talking to her about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Tara's very, very sweet person. I'm
Mhm.
really glad to have another parent in the scene playing this type of music, and she's a really good friend, and she has a stellar voice. I
Yep.
really can't say enough good things about her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's great. Okay. So we saw you said you started about 2018. Is that correct? With Omnicom?
2019 was our first show with Omnigone. We, I think I'd been wanting to play this type of music again. And it just felt crazy to start a new band as like a adult. Playing ska punk is kind of always said like, oh yeah, this is something you're supposed to do when you're a kid and you got a
Hmm.
lot of energy. And I still feel like I have a lot of energy. So, I finally pulled the trigger on it and was just like, let's just go record some songs. Let's just see what it feels like.
Hmm.
And it felt good. So yeah, 2019, we put out No Faith, our first record on Bad Time. And that same day that we put out that record, we played our first show at Gilman.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Great, legendary place to play.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to just kind of do the whole shebang all at once. I feel like it's maybe a little bit, putting the cart before the horse, uh, recording a whole record,
Hmm.
but just things lined up in a way that made sense to do it. We found a cheap place to record at, and my friend Jamie was, lives in a van and is a brilliant music producer, and so I went and recorded vocals in Jamie's van, and Jamie mixed the whole record in her van, and it's incredible. Like I really liked how it came out.
Hmm.
It's definitely a little bit rougher around the edges than the records we put out since, but it got the job done, and I really am proud of it.
Well, that's awesome. So you said, so for your full length releases, because you have a lot of EPs and singles, but No Faith was 2019, Against the Rest was 2023, and Feral was
Mhm.
2024. Am I missing any full lengths?
No, we no, yeah, that's it. That's it for now. We've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. We have a Google Drive folder that's probably got upwards of 50 or 60 demo
Oh.
songs in it. So we have a lot of stuff ready to go.
Hmm.
If any other bands ever need somebody to write a song for them, Barry, our bass player, I just as I was logging into this call, there's a new demo in my inbox right now
Oh,
that I
is that
haven't
right?
even heard.
Concept?
So
Just
he's really fast.
yeah,
Yeah. So if anybody and it's probably like almost done. Like it's probably like at least guitar, bass, and drums, if not vocals.
yeah.
Sometimes he sends me stuff with vocals. Uh, yeah.
That's pretty
So
awesome. That's
he's
great.
he's a good one.
So
If I mean, just putting it out there to anybody, if anybody needs somebody to ghostwrite a song for him, Barry Crepini, Omnigone,
ghostwriting.
he'll do
That's
it.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about the formation of Omnigone back in 2018? How did that all
I
come
mean, it
about?
was just just missing playing punk rock, playing ska and punk, and watching other friends' bands reunite, or I think I even hearing about Catbite for the first time and being like, oh, that's cool. Like that's cool. I like that.
Hmm.
And then just being like, man, why not? And so I think the thing was, I remember the Siren Six from Minneapolis. They were doing like three reunion shows. And I wrote down in a notebook, I was like, write and record a 3-song ska punk EP or never think about it again. And my thought was it would be really cool to go see my friends in the Siren Six at this show and to have like a burned CD. So
Hmm.
when somebody asks me, hey, what have you been doing? What are you up to? I can just go, oh, I've got this right here. Then I've got this new thing that I'm doing. And I missed that deadline, but I think I did pull the trigger and get us into the studio like a month later and did a 3-song EP and just put it on Bandcamp and it's still there.
Yeah,
You can hear it still.
nice. Very nice. Yeah, I remember Siren Six. I forgot what's the singer's name. Oh God, I forgot it because they were
Nate.
Stinkfish before.
Yes, they were Stinkfish. So Aaron Carnes of In Defense of Ska and I were in a band called Flat Planet that was his band, but I
Mhm.
just joined on guitar. Um, but we played a show in, I want to say it was Hemet or Victorville. No, it was Victorville. Um, Way out kind of in the desert. And we
Mhm.
played with Stinkfish and they were amazing. And we played and we were not amazing because we had a bunch of fill-in guys for the show. And I remember that was the first time also we drove straight down for the show, played the show. Nobody was there except for Stinkfish. And then we hop back in our cars and drove home. And it was my first time falling asleep at the wheel. Only
Oh,
time falling asleep at the wheel, actually. Um, kind of veered off the road on the 5 and then pulled over and had somebody else drive the rest of the way home. And I think about it every time I drive on the 5 now because I know exactly where it was.
oh shit.
So
That's
I think
scary.
about it every time I drive by it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it turned
Yeah,
out
nothing
okay.
nothing too bad happened. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, that could have been bad. Shit.
Yeah. Definitely I always, either, make sure you have a cup of coffee or somebody to stay up with you or make sure you're just feeling solid because that can go sideways really quick. It's
Yeah.
always okay to just pull over and sleep for a couple hours.
Yeah, I remember I did most of the driving and when I toured with the band I used to manage called the Hippos. And in '97 we toured across the US and in the van and we did a shitload of driving. I remember going through all the black ice and just snow and fucking every element and it's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Bad Time Records, how did this all come about? You guys getting signed to them? How did you guys connect with them?
Uh, I I met Mike at the gym. Mike was living in Alameda at the time, and I guess I had met him before through Brent. Um, but at the gym, he was wearing an Asian Man Records shirt, and I went up and talked to him. It was before I was going to my own. He was doing his own workout, and I was going to, I think, a group fitness class. And I just went over and started talking to him, and turned out we were both ska heads. So then when we recorded what became No Faith, Brent was one of the drummers that played on it. And when we finished, Brent just said to me, "What are we gonna do with this recording?" And I was like, "I don't know, put it online for free." And he's like, "Well, I think Mike at Bad Time would want to put it out." And I was like, "Really?" And meanwhile, he's on the other side talking to Mike, saying like, "Hey, we just recorded all this stuff. Sounds really good. Do you think you might want to put it out?" And Mike was like, "I don't know. Do you think Adam would want to put it out with me?" And so Brent like linked us together, even though like Brent's in Southern California and we were both like, 5 miles apart up here in Alameda. So we just got together one day and just talked it out, and I played him the whole record, and he was into it. And so yeah, I think we're like let me see, I've got a poster up on the wall. We're like the seventh thing to come out on Bad Time ever.
Mhm.
So that's cool. And then since Mike lived so close for a number of years, I used to just go over there and help pack records and try to help with some of that stuff. I was
Yeah.
real kind of bummed when he had to move back to New York, but I will say his spot in New York is sweet, so I don't fault him for doing that. I
Yeah.
drove past the old spot yesterday, and the carport that he ran most of Bad Time out of, there's like a car parked in it now, and the car barely fits in the carport. So the space that Bad Time like originated in is basically too small to park like a mid-sized car in.
Hey, you got to make do with what you have, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Now let's go to the ska scene in your area. You're in the Berkeley area, is that correct? Of California?
I'm closer to Oakland. Yeah, I'm closer to Oakland. I'm in Alameda actually.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh
it's a little north.
so from here it's like Alameda's like a little island, and then we're right next to East Oakland. Oakland's pretty big, and then Oakland butts up against, well, then you've got like this little sliver that's Emeryville, which is where Pixar is, and then above that you've got Berkeley.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have like a pretty like steeped tradition of like the Uptones, and of course Operation Ivy and Rancid. Um, and but it's funny, as much as we, Gilman gets touted as being a big ska punk mecca. There aren't a ton of ska bands up here. Currently, besides us, we have Sad Snack up here
Hmm.
and another band called the Hellas. And down in San Jose, I think there's a young band called Voluntary Hazing that I've never seen before.
Hmm.
And then there's uh, a few others that kind of like, we played with a really good one, and I don't want to mess up their name, but they were like a 12-piece like Latino ska, like more like straight up ska, like LA, like East LA ska.
Yeah.
Um, they're really good. I wish I remembered their name. They were super good. Um,
Back in what year?
somebody'll comment on this eventually. Oh, they're current. I
Oh,
think they're
current.
still playing. We played with them and the Voodoo Glow Skulls at the Ivy Room in Albany, which is above Berkeley. But that said, like, I mean, I feel like the East Bay does get a lot of like hype for being like a mecca for ska punk, but
Yeah.
um there isn't a ton of it. And I feel like, whenever I go to Gilman these days, the thing that is really popular with kids uh is just hardcore, which, no, there's no shade for that. Like I love hardcore too.
Hmm.
Um, but I also like punk, and I like ska and everything in between. And I feel like there's such a intense culture around hardcore right now where, um, and that bubble just hasn't burst yet. Uh, but I would love to see some of these young kids get interested in music that's uh, a little bit more varied.
Hmm. Exactly. Going back, wasn't there a ska band back in the mid '90s, late '90s, from Emeryville? What was it? Mars Villa? Were they a band from
I've
Denver?
never heard of them.
Yeah, there was a bunch of those
I haven't heard of
bands
that band.
back then. I could have sworn Minna would know for sure because he's got a
Yeah, Mida would definitely know.
yeah. I'll have to ask him
Mida
about that
Mida
one.
booked a lot of those bands back then.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and I've definitely Barry and I have both played a number of Mida Goodwin shows over the years.
Yeah, same here. I had the Hippos play with them. I had
Yeah.
Melting Pot. I had the Adjustments, who were the guys from Janitors. They all played
Yeah.
with Mida back then. Yeah, yeah. Now,
Yeah, I was a big I as a teenager I really loved Genders Against Apartheid.
yeah.
I know that it maybe wasn't the most musically sound stuff. I get clowned on a lot for liking Genders Against Apartheid. Um, but I think it was just, I liked hyperactive music. I liked stuff that shifted from like kind of like metal riffs to like really fast ska.
Mhm.
Um, and I still have like a soft spot for those recordings. Um, but yeah, I've had people be like, I've had people from Janitors Against Apartheid be like, "Why do you like this?" I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's what I grew up on.
Yeah. There's a lot of good music back in the day. Lot of good stuff coming from the North Bay where you're at. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
tons of bands. Um, Now your band designs, who does them? Because some of them are pretty fucking sick.
Hmm.
I like this. This one's pretty cool.
It's just, oh, the Snaky guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to redo that at some point. Um, I drew that. I draw all our stuff.
Oh, you
I'm
do it.
an
Okay,
illustrator.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, I just finished a degree from CSU East Bay, um, about a year ago, for studio art. I've been kind of an illustrator for a really long time. But yeah, I do all of our design stuff, all the record jackets, all of our t-shirts. I think there's maybe one t-shirt where my friend Bart Frescura, he's a mask maker. And if you watch the video for the song Her Story, there's this really cool mask with like teeth all over it that he made. And he's playing that character in the video where he's like this kind of like lecherous, like he's supposed to be like the embodiment of like male chauvinism basically. And he made this awesome mask and he's made all this art with like teeth. And the last album cover I did a big painting of these clenched teeth.
Hmm.
And I've always really liked Bart's art, and so I just hit him up and was like, "Hey man, if I throw you like, I mean, I can't afford a ton, but like if I pay you like $100 and give you a shirt, can I do a run of shirts with your teeth scape thing on it?" And he was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." So, I mean, I still laid it out. He sent me the picture and I like grimied it up and, you know, made the edges look torn and put our logo at the top. Um, but but that was the one thing that was somebody else's art. Usually it's just something that I drew in this room that I'm sitting in right now.
Well, I'm glad I put this one in the background because I was thinking about the teeth one, but I'm glad this one was yours.
Well, I mean, the if it's the tooth painting thing from the album cover, I painted that,
What was the red
from that
one with
Album
the
cover.
gums and the teeth?
And
That was it?
yeah, yeah, I painted that. Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
was a giant painting that I didn't hear. It's a big, I think 4 foot by 4 foot painting, 5 foot by 5 foot painting. It's
Uh,
big.
yeah.
Um, I've got another canvas in here because I need to paint another album cover. But I just keep putting it off because I'm not sure exactly what the painting's gonna be. And it's not something that you want to like half-ass. You want to kind of go into it like knowing what it is that you're gonna put on the canvas.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's gonna come out looking beat up. But yeah, I did the cover for Against the Rest, the cover for Feral, the cover for No Faith, and I'll do the cover for the rest of our records. Um, it's fun to do. You know, it's like I feel like in this era of people wanting to use AI for everything, like especially as an artist, especially as a musician, I feel like everything we're doing is an opportunity to create art. So if you're ever handing that over to the computers instead and being like, even for a flyer or, a flyer is like the most throwaway thing ever. Like you hand them out outside of a show and then somebody just goes, cool. And then they, throw it in a drawer or they put it in the trash. But at the end of the day, it's nice to have it be a piece of art where it's like, and the more interesting you can make it and the more standalone you can make it, even if it's just a black and white photocopy,
Mhm.
then it has the chance of being that thing that somebody hangs on to 10, 20 years from now
Mhm.
and pulls out and goes like, oh yeah, this is something special. If you're making that with AI, you're giving that away to somebody else. And that's completely aside from the other moral aspects of it or the environmental aspects of it. I'm just saying as an artist, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice to grab onto AI for that stuff.
Mhm. Now, where does your inspiration come
I'll get
from
off my soapbox.
for the canvas, the paintings, the artwork? Where does all that inspiration? Where you draw that from?
I mean, just from everything around me. Like I've been drawing since I was a little tiny kid. I've always drawn. Before I played music, I thought I wanted to be a Disney Imagineer. I've always been into making stuff, dioramas. Uh, I'm really into the thing that I'm really into right now is kind of like environmental design. And so that kind of goes like you walk into a space and that space looks a certain way, but also sounds a certain way. It smells a certain way. Um, those things are really interesting to me. And when that sort of thing can be curated, where you can transport a person to a new place that you've constructed, that's really exciting. And I went and saw. I don't know if you've seen this, but you might have gotten served ads for it. They did a play of Paranormal Activity
Oh, really?
um, here in San Francisco. Yes. And so I got to go see it for my birthday. And it was put on by this company, Punch Drunk, in conjunction with Paramount Pictures. But Punch Drunk is popular because they had a performance in San Francisco, or no, excuse me, in New York, long-running performance called Sleep No More. In a six-story warehouse, it was a retelling of Macbeth, and it was a hyper-detailed environment where you would follow the actors through these spaces, and you could rifle through drawers, you could pick things up, put them down. It was amazing. This was a little bit different in that it was just a play, but you saw like the cross section of a house basically on stage. So you can see into the rooms. But as we're sitting in the space, when we first walked in, they're just playing like 90s alt rock stuff. So like all the stuff that's kind of a certain age. So like
Mhm.
everybody that's coming in there is probably in their like 40s to like maybe early 60s. So it's all of our music. So that's kind of setting a vibe already. Then when the play starts, I started noticing that there was a smell in the space that's not like a theater smell. It's not like an old musty smell. It's not a public space smell. It smells like cedar, like a cozy living room smell.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that they were pumping that smell into the space. Now we get to intermission and they're not putting the alt rock back on. There's just a low drone playing, this just ominous between the two acts of the play. So
Mhm.
that's creating this tension and holding that tension, while people go to the bathroom and come back to their seats of the play. And then as the play progressed in the second act, and I have to believe this is intentional, but it could have just been my brain playing tricks, but the cedar smell morphed into the smell of burning wood,
Hmm.
like the house was catching on fire. And there was an element in the play where they were talking about this these parents dying in a fire. And so that tied into the story. Um, so things like that where it's not just a drawing or a painting, although I love all of that stuff. Um, I love the idea of the world that you're inhabiting is art.
Mhm.
Everything around you is design and art, and it should all be appreciated.
That is pretty cool. I've never, the only thing I've seen is like the 4D, 5D, or whatever those things that they have with the sounds and the wind and the smell.
Yeah.
Similar to that, but that's pretty awesome to associate all of that, the cedar smell and then
Yeah, and even
burning.
even
That's
something
pretty
like
awesome.
that can be really fun. You know, like the 5D where they're throwing you around in the movie
Mhm.
theater, or one thing that our band really loves doing on tour is doing escape rooms. And so we see a lot of varied uh escape rooms. Like some people put a lot of effort into them and make them feel like believable spaces that you are inhabiting. Um, and some of them suck, but most of them are great.
Mhm.
But even the ones that suck, like there was one that we did in San Francisco, uh, where it was a Alcatraz themed escape room, and they shackled us all to a bar that was attached to the wall, shackled us all to this bar in this basement, and it smelled like mold because it was probably a moldy basement.
Mhm.
Like we all just like looked at each other when the person left, and we were just like, cool, we're all gonna die down here. Like this really just feels like we're gonna get murdered.
That's pretty wild, man. I would not want to
Yeah.
be handcuffed anywhere like that. There's that
Yeah,
Stephen
yeah.
King movie. You ever seen that Stephen King movie, Gerald's
Yo,
Game?
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, no thank you. No
Yeah, no,
thank you.
thank you. Exactly. Now, who's the songwriter in the band?
Um, Barry and I kind of do it 50-50, but
Hmm.
lately it's been more 70-30, where he's writing a lot of the music now
Hmm.
and I'm mostly just doing lyrics. When we first started the band, I was also playing guitar on the recordings, and I've since kind of relinquished control of playing guitar,
Okay.
just because since I don't play live, every time we go into the studio, I kind of have to like get good at guitar again, which doesn't take too long, but there is a little bit of like, Barry's playing the whole time, so he's like, "Okay, come on, man, pick it up, like, let's
Yeah,
go."
pick it
And
up.
I'm like, "Oh wait, I'll get there. I'll get there in 1 second. Hold on." And so now he's kind of focusing on making all the music. I'm focusing on writing the words, especially since I have to be the one to say them on stage. So it feels
Right.
a little bit better if it's my words coming out of my mouth. I don't mind singing somebody else's lyrics, but I I definitely will put more meaning into it if it's me. Um, and then more recently, we got a new guitarist, Frank Piagaro. He's previously in Starfucking Hipsters and Love Songs and The Warriors. And he's a phenomenal guitar player. And so he's been adding a lot to our music. And he's definitely getting kind of involved in our writing process, where we're sharing demos with him, and he's adding his flair to the demos, and we're moving from there. So he's not doing a ton of like full on songwriting at this point, but he is adding a lot to the songs.
Mhm. So who does the producing on the on? Does the same person do the same producing on all the albums? Is it the band, or you guys bring in someone from the outside?
We don't really we've never really worked with a producer. We're not against it, but it's just not something that we've ever like budgeted for. Um, and it would have to be somebody that we really trust. Also like so we kind of just produce ourselves, but also like Barry and I have been playing together for so long that like I have a bad habit of like snapping at Barry. Um, Not in like a super bad way, but like if anybody ever has to take the brunt of me being an asshole, it's Barry, and then I have to apologize. And he's really good about it, and he never really takes it too seriously, but um I think he's just kind of used to me. And I'm probably not being as big of an asshole as I'm maybe making it out to be. Um, but like definitely if I'm feeling stressed in the studio, Barry ends up having to catch the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Um, we've been working the last two records we did with Jack Shirley, who is in a really cool band called Comadre, and he has a great studio here in East Oakland called Atomic Garden. and he's recorded Deaf Heaven. He mixed Ska Dream, the Jeff Rosenstock album.
Mhm.
Uh, he did the Jer record, but he doesn't really work as a. We're not paying him to be a producer, but that said, he is very good about letting us know if something sounds good or if something needs to be redone, or and he does it in a way that feels authentic. I've worked with other people who've recorded us, and I've like done a take and turned to the person pushing the knobs and said, "How was that?" And they're like, "I don't know."
Mhm.
I'm just like, "Oh, cool. Like, thanks. Okay." Um, they're just there to capture it. But, Jack knows me and what we're doing well enough to be like, "You can do that again."
Yeah.
And the last time we went into the studio with Jack, I did all my vocals live, which was really fun, a little bit exhausting because you gotta kind of hold your energy up for multiple takes. And so when you're like screaming and screaming and screaming, you have to like go, okay, is this really the take? Because like if I'm gonna blow out my voice right now, like we need to make sure, because I'm not doing any of this like fake screaming stuff. Like I'm not doing like the vocal fry, like fake, like wow sort of thing that people talk about doing. I'm screaming, um, straight out. So, but yeah, the last time I recorded vocals with him, he just handed me a microphone and said, "There you go." Just literally just sang the same as we do on stage. It wasn't on a stand or anything, and it was fun. And I think probably like 60 to 70% of what I sang live is what ended up on the record, and then some of it needed to get fixed. And I just punched it
Mhm.
in, fixed it, um, and it was a lot of fun.
So, how many members currently do you have in the band? Because I know you've had up to what, five, I think, at one time.
I think the most we've performed as is I think we've been on stage as like a seven piece, like when we've had Jer and M from Jer Band play with us. We've played with two guitars, bass, drums, two horns. We've had Esteban sit in with us a couple times, but as it stands right now, we're a four piece. Like
Okay.
it's guitar, bass, drums, vocals. Um, we were doing two guitars for a while, but I think with Frank on guitar, Frank is enough guitar to kind of cover everything, cover leads and cover noisy stuff and cover all the rest of the music.
Hmm.
So having two guitars feels not as necessary now, whereas before it gave a really full kind of wild sound.
Right.
Um, and now with the introduction of Frank, it isn't as necessary.
Right on. I know Mikey and I tried to catch you guys last October, but his plane was delayed, so we missed your set, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think when we were talking with you outside program skate, but we definitely gotta
yeah,
catch you one of these days. I haven't seen you guys yet.
yeah. It programs a pretty great space. It's kind of funny that it's so incredibly small, and it's just at one end of a strip mall, and it pulls consistently great shows.
Hmm.
I saw that like I think Ignite played there recently,
Oh,
and that's
really?
like a pretty big hardcore band.
It is.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's cool. My hope is that maybe they can eventually get the space next door too and like knock a wall down, make a little bit more room in there, make it feel a little bit more like a venue.
Right.
But as it stands, like I think it's a super fun place to play. I love, since I'm a tall guy, I like being on the floor. Like I feel like the show benefits from not having a stage when we're playing, because I feel like if I am on a stage, I'm like constantly bending down so that I can be in people's faces. And if
Right.
I'm just standing, then I'm just kind of like, I'm like a couple inches taller than everybody, and so everybody can still see me, but I'm still in everybody's faces.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people, if they're shorter, they're not able to, see you if you are on level ground as the crowd.
Yeah, yeah. Unless they want to push to the front, which I'm always
Yeah,
for.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
I I was going so hard the last time we played. Tara had to remind me later. I like pushed her down at one point
Oh,
because
damn.
she was just like in the middle of the audience, and I wasn't even thinking. I was just like going for it, and I like put my hand on her because I was like, "There's Tara," and I just like put my hand on her. Didn't even think about what I was doing, and she was like, after the show, was like, "Dude, you like pushed me to the floor. Like, what the hell?" And I was like, "Oh my bad. Like, I'm sorry." Um, I wasn't even thinking about it. And it's like, I don't think of Tara as being like, Tara is tiny, but I don't ever think about her being tiny. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're just my homie. Like, no big deal.
Yep.
Sorry, Tara.
Yeah, there's some bands that are kind of aggressive frontmen. No, I mean not in a bad way, of course. Like Hans Gruber does their thing. Benny from
Hmm. Yeah.
Boy Detective does his thing too. Yeah, there's a bunch of big guys like you that are intimidating. That go out there and you do your
Yeah.
thing and just entertain the crowd like fucking crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I know you played with a shitload of bands from your time in other bands and recently in Omnigone. Who are your favorite bands to play with? It doesn't matter what genre.
Oh man. Doesn't matter what genre.
Correct.
Oof. Who have we played with I feel like I need to look at my show list for this. Um,
Oh,
I
you
started
got a
keeping
show
a
list.
list
You
of all
you
the
played so
bands that we've
many so many shows. You got to have a
ever
list
played
of.
with. Well, you just start to forget. You just
Yeah.
start to be like, oh wait, like,
Hmm.
um,
There's tons of bands I
what
forget that
bands
I've
have
even
we
seen.
played with? Um, I mean, I'm always gonna love the Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Oh yeah.
They're like one of the first bands that really got me into this type of music.
Hmm.
Uh,
Me too.
I
It was
think they're
them
great.
and Bucko
And
Nine and
no,
the
no,
Boss Tribute.
no, and no shade to Ephraim. I think Ephraim did a great job when he was in the band.
Hmm.
I was really happy when Frank came back.
Yeah.
I got to see him for the first time at Bottom of the Hill, and I think it was maybe his second or third show back. And I was just like, oh, this is great. Like
Hmm.
this makes me so happy. And the thing before that is I'd been really pushing because I know Ephraim kind of like distanced himself. Like he kind of was like, oh, I can't do this run in Mexico of shows that they had. So Eddie and George just sang. And then we played a show with them at Gilman, and I was talking on the phone with Eddie and George about it. And I was like, what's gonna happen for that show? Like, are you guys just gonna sing? Like, because I saw you guys do that on video and it sounded cool because you guys all have the same DNA as Frank. Like,
Hmm.
y'all sound the same. Like, it's cool. And they were feeling kind of like some sort of way about it, I think, because like, they still got to play their instruments. They can't like run around the stage.
Hmm.
So they're like, oh, we got like a homie to come wear like a luchador mask and like run around. And I was like, do you guys really need that? And they played the set, and Eddie sang half of it and George sang half of it, and they both sounded incredible. And and then the guy that they brought to be like the luchador guy, like he jumped on stage like two or three times, but you can kind of tell he was like shy about it. And so it's like, wow, whatever. But Eddie and George were holding it down. And I remember I called both of them afterwards and was like, yo, like just do that. Like that sounded sick. Like
Hmm.
I was into that. And then like literally like the next day, Frank hits up George and was like, hey, I want to be back in the band. And so it was like, oh, okay. So in some alternate reality, I think that it would be really cool if there had been a Voodoo album that just had Eddie and George sing on it. No
Hmm.
shade to Frank, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy to have Frank back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, okay, so
Yeah.
outside of Voodoo Glow Skulls, outside of Voodoo, I mean, of course, Mustard Plug. We did a whole run with them. Bucko
Hmm.
Nine, their homies. Um, I mean, all the bad time bands, Catbite, Kill Lincoln, Jer, Half Past Two, Eichlers, Jay Navarro and the Traders. Oh, Suicide Machines, of course.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
love Suicide Machines. Totally mind blowing to me that like I know those guys now and get to play shows with them. Um, Against All Authority, uh, amazing. I really like that sometimes we get to play with like hardcore bands. We played with a cool straight edge hardcore band from Denver called Time Heist.
Mhm.
Turned out that like their singer when he was like a teenager, he'd booked my old band back in the day, and that was kind of cool. And really love the band School Drugs. School Drugs. We
That's a
cover a School
crazy
Drugs
name.
song on Feral. Oh yeah, they're great. They're probably one of the. I think Josh from School Drugs is like one of the best front people ever in a band. Just the best stage presence, the best voice, the best banter, and just a really fun guy to hang out with. Um, I really love him.
Yeah.
Would really love to play a ton more with that band. Who else? I mean, Flying Raccoon
You
Suit. Um,
you back in the day
yeah, go ahead.
you played with Slapstick in one of your old bands, right?
I never got to play with Slapstick.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw Slapstick at the AMR reunion show. And that was also one of the parts that made me be like, I miss playing this type of music. And I know that
Mhm.
like uh fucking Brennan doesn't even like playing that music anymore. Like he's excessively glad that Slapstick did not sign to Epitaph, that they did not become a huge band, that they
Mhm.
stayed underground because he's glad that he's not known as being a ska punk guy.
Mhm.
And I'm exactly the opposite. We're like, I fully embrace being a ska punk guy. I love it. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like, but definitely seeing them at AMR 20 was or 20 or 15, AMR 15, um, made me be like, I want to play this type of music again.
Yeah.
Like, and it was really fun too, because like all those guys were at different levels of like how comfortable they were being on stage.
Mhm.
Like Dan Adriano from Alkaline Trio obviously plays every day, like, and can play all that stuff in his sleep. Some of the horn players struggling a little bit, but having a blast.
Yeah.
And for those guys also to be adults with real jobs now, and I think one of them had some friends in town that were like, "What are you doing tonight?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm playing this show with my old band. Oh, we'll stop by." And they stopped by and saw, this packed house of kids losing their minds
Yeah.
to Slapstick. And it's like, "What? Like, who are you?" So yeah, it was a different world for them.
Yeah, that was a good band. I only got to book them once, back in '96 at a fucking dive bar on like a
Yeah.
Tuesday. It was terrible. But they made a shitload of merch.
Where
So
where was that? What town was that in?
it was in Hollywood at a place called Dizzy Debbie's. It used to be the old King King. It was on Martin Luther
Do
King
you know if
Jr.'s
that was
birthday.
before or was that before or after the show they played at the Showcase Theater?
They didn't play Showcase that time because them and MU were gonna come
On that
down.
run, they didn't? Okay.
Yeah, so MU did not come down. The only Slapstick did, and then I
Okay.
replaced them with, I had the Hippos and Lone Raspberry, I think, play something like that. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that was the only time I had seen them and booked them, basically. But you were
Okay.
talking about Alkaline Trio. Didn't Derek Grant from the Suicide Machines join Alkaline Trio? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, for years and years he was
He
he
did.
was their
Okay.
drummer.
Yeah.
No, you're right. He jumped in there. Uh Basically after their original drummer left, they had a guy named Mike Fulumley, who was in the Smoking Popes. And
Mm,
then when Fulumley left, they got Derek Grant. And Derek, I think, was the longest lasting drummer. And then I think due to anxiety and just maybe not enjoying the touring lifestyle, he bowed out a couple of years ago.
mm.
Um, and I don't think he plays out a ton anymore. I could be mistaken, but yeah, phenomenal musician. I don't know that I've ever been in the same room as Derek, but he's, it's definitely a huge huge influence, and I hope he's doing really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I hit him up about a year ago and haven't heard from him. So, but yeah, I used to deal with him a lot back in, the mid 90s with the Stiff Dog stuff.
Yeah,
But all cool guys, all those guys.
yeah.
Now, what challenges has Omnigone faced as a band during your tenure?
Um, not a ton. I mean, the biggest thing was just COVID. We started the band in 2019, September of 2019.
Mhm.
Our third show was with Mustard Plug. Then that was like my birthday, February 4th of 2020. Then the next show we played was with Escape the Zoo at Gilman. And that was a week before everything shut down. So that show was like, that was the first show we played where there was like not really anybody there. And
Okay.
we were like, oh, this is weird. And I think I remember making some joke on stage, like, hey, this feels a little weird. And literally then everything shut down. And even that, as challenging as it was good for me because I had always been a stay-home parent when we decided to have kids.
Mhm.
So, when I was starting to like start doing music, I just got a new job. I was like out of the house more, and I was like, oh, I'm not seeing my kids as much as I used to. Suddenly we were all trapped back in the house, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get to see my kids all the time. This is great. Um, and there was all like, the online stuff. We were all doing live streams and jumping on stuff. And so we were staying active. We even did like we put together a whole song remotely during the pandemic for the Shape of Ska Punk to Come 2 compilation. Reed Wolcott from Weird Union put together
Mhm.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, played guitar on the track and mixed the whole thing. Um, so I mean, we even as challenging as it was, like that was the biggest challenge. Now it's just the challenge is just um age and not in a bad way, really. I feel great. Like I exercise and I eat right and I feel as good as I did in my 20s, but it's just my peers my peers don't want to come see me play. So it's like, you look at like a young band. There's this great band in SoCal right now, Chudson. Young kids. They're
Mhm.
like 19, 20, 21, something like that.
With 40 something
Writing
thousand
catchy
followers.
songs, playing, yeah, billion followers on Instagram. Every single post gets like 1,000 likes, and
Yeah.
their shows look super fun. But a big part of that is because punk rock is primarily youth culture,
Mhm.
which is great. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people let themselves age out of doing these fun things for themselves. Like,
Mhm.
um, a lot of us continue to go to shows, but maybe not in the same capacity that we did as teens or in our 20s.
Mhm.
And then even then, like, you can look at these young groups of kids and you can see like, oh yeah, this one person that came to the show, they're passionate about this. These other five people that came with them are just here to have a good time. And they're just here because their friend invited them.
Right.
And so the numbers end up skewed that way because it's like, sure, there's 300 people at this show, but maybe 200 of them aren't going to come to shows in 5 years.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of the fact of it. Um, and so like I feel like being an older band, I feel like we can still get up there and rip it. Um, but at the end of the day, like I know for a fact, like, if you're a teenager and you see a bunch of guys get up on stage and we have gray beards, there's a high bar there to clear. Like you're like, man, I don't know. Do I really want to buy a shirt from this band of dudes that look like my dad, uh,
Unless you're bad
who
relation
are probably older
or
than my
Pennywise
dad.
or yeah, those older bands.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like if you're an established band, it's fine, but it's just like, that was a big thing for me, for years before I started the band was just like, do I really want to start a new band where it's like a bunch of young like bunch of guys trying to like recapture something? I'm definitely not trying to recapture something, but I just this is part of who I am. I've always
Hmm.
done this. I've been playing music since I was 16 and I've always enjoyed it in some capacity. And definitely with Omnigone, I feel like I'm at least reaching an audience where I am getting a lot of like positive feedback and positive re-encouragement. But I do think that like if we were a bunch of 19-year-olds, we'd have 40,000 followers. Um, but no shade to the young people. Enjoy it, like,
Yeah.
and just keep going, keep grinding. Like, the only thing I ever try to tell these like young bands is like, hey, just don't break up, just keep going,
Hmm.
because like you can always stop. Nobody's gonna tell you to stop, so you got to tell yourself to stop,
Right.
take a break, but then come back to it
Yep.
and hit it again. Because like once you got somebody's attention, you should hang on to it and enjoy it. So shout out Chudson, shout out the London System, shout out what was that other one? Skid something? Skidward? I don't know. I'm stoked on these young bands popping up. Like,
The Odd
go,
Advantage is
do it.
pretty good.
Do the ska punk thing. Yeah, Odd Advantage, do it. Do the thing. Like, get your friends together, play some music, do it fast, do it loud, do it messy. Just do it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Um, because it's gonna be, you don't want to come out the other side of this going like, I wish I'd done it. Like, just do it.
Right. Right. You have a good band up there that played down here a couple times. Oh my God, Horizon Point. They're up in your area too.
Oh yeah, we played with them. We played with them out in Lodi.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're doing some good stuff. They just put out a new record. I feel like they're really trying to put their best foot forward. They're trying to consistently, like, every time they put out new material, it's better.
Right.
They're constantly tightening up, their band. Very proud of them. They're very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Good guys. And Jen. Now, let's talk about
Yes.
crazy tour stories. Is there anything that you want to let your fans know? What crazy things that you've gone through on tour? Anything wild happen?
Has anything crazy happened on tour?
Like someone left
Um,
behind, too drunk to play one day, things like that, broken down vehicle.
I mean that used to happen back in the day, but like now it doesn't really happen because everybody that plays in Omnigone is like super responsible, and and we kind of just like get things done and get from point A to point B. Um we have a lot of fun. Uh I think probably my favorite thing, and the thing that I think cracks up like Brent and like anybody younger that's played with us, is like Barry and I uh are so accustomed to sleeping in like shitholes. Like, we did it for so long, just sleeping on floors in like the sketchiest places imaginable. Now, Omnigone like pretty much always sleeps in hotels. And and I don't think they're even the nicest hotels. They're like pretty mid-level. Not like the shittiest, but not the nice ones.
Right.
We've really found that like Spring Hill Suites is like our sweet spot. So we stay at Spring Hill Suites a lot. and and you'll just like look at like me or Barry in a hotel room, and we just like look so happy. We're just like, oh, this is so comfortable. And like, we come into the hotel room and immediately turn the AC to 69, and then we, check the bed for bed bugs, make sure there's no bed bugs, and then we turn on the TV and find MTV and put on ridiculousness, and we just have ridiculousness on. And usually we've picked up like, Taco Bell or something. So then we all sit on our beds and, joke while we're all just kind of looking at our phones and eating Taco Bell. and that's the life. Like it doesn't get any better than that. Like, and then I think I solidly get like 8 hours of sleep almost every night on tour, and I go down and I use the gym, I hit the weights, and go eat the free breakfast, and then hit the drive. And it's nice. Like it's work a little bit, but it's also like I have a good routine. And yeah, when you have a bunch of like straight edge guys or guys that mostly, nobody really has, drinking or drugs as part of their routine,
Hmm.
not a lot crazy can happen. I've been getting a lot of like little like weird tattoos on tour. Um, I used to be one of those people who was like, "Oh, I got to really think on it before I get something." And now I'm just like, just slap it on me. Like, let's go. And so I'll like sometimes be rolling into to play the show, like bleeding
Yeah.
down my arm because, the bandage has like slipped off and I'm all sweaty and, um, try not to get an infection or something. But
Are the
I,
tattoos
I
like a
made
memory?
Tara go with me, and
Are they like a memory of
yeah, or
you've done
just
a
like,
tour?
it's just,
Sorry.
yeah. And it's just something to do. Like a lot of us have against the rest crew tattoos, and a lot of other bands have been getting them. And so I got Tara to go get one when we were in DC together, and we went to a kind of like sketchy tattoo parlor, and I kind of felt bad about it because her tattoo got a little fucked up, and my tattoo, I just got one. I was just like, just put something on my arm. Like, come on, man. And he didn't even have any flash in this shop, so we had to like pull something off the internet. And I was just like, whatever, like, let's go. And like, there's a spot on my arm where like he like did like a little and like missed. And so there's like three little dots that don't go to any part of the tattoo. I was like, oh, cool, man. Thanks. But at the end of the day, like, I don't care. Like, it's just like, it's fun. Like, I like that I'm eventually gonna be this old guy covered in like grody tattoos.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
that's
already an old guy covered in grody tattoos. What am I talking about?
yeah. Now, what about touring this year besides the bad time leg of the tour? Any plans to do any part touring this year?
When does this get announced? Or when does this get aired?
Um, I think next week I'll put it 2:30, and then yours thereafter. So it would be on a
Oh, okay.
Wednesday.
I think I can go ahead and say,
Okay.
can you edit this out in case it hasn't been announced? It's supposed to get announced tomorrow, but I don't know if it's getting announced.
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
We're us and Half Past Two are playing 3 shows in April with Less Than Jake. So I guess Less Than Jake is playing Coachella, so they
Mhm.
decided to play some smaller venues, smaller for them, um, here on the West Coast, and so we got roped in through I think Jr. Their sax player really likes us, so
Mm.
put us on the shows. So I'm very excited to play those, and then yeah, I think we'll have a new record uh some point in the summer, late summer, early fall. So hopefully some touring around that.
Awesome, man. Now, have you or any of
Cool.
your bandmates ever attended a Supernova Ska Festival?
Yeah, I went with Aaron in I think 2 years ago,
Oh, that's
um
right. You guys did
for when
the
Independent
the
Ska was
thing.
there.
You guys did the live.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's right. I don't know why I asked that because I knew
Yeah. The,
that.
the live stream part was not great. Um Only because like their initial plan for it was really cool, but then it just didn't work. Um so we kind of got like sequestered to like a weird location. Um and it was fine, but it was like we didn't really have they didn't have the bandwidth to like schedule people, so we were just kind of grabbing people, and it was fun. Like I'm always down to talk to whoever.
Yeah.
Um but it was kind of a bummer, like, when you could hear a really great band playing and you're like, oh, we're missing this.
Yeah.
Like
I hear
we're
that.
stuck over here doing this, and there's somebody really great on stage. The community at Supernova is unparalleled. I think Tim does a really good job putting it together.
Mhm.
I would definitely like to go back this year. I would love to see the Impossibles. If
That's
anybody is on the fence about ever going to Supernova, you should go because it is amazing and it's just like many other things out there. There's nothing like it. You're never going to see a ska show on the beach on the East Coast that has that variety of ska where you've got everything from like the originators of the genre
mhm.
up through like, like really wild ska punk shit.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I've gone every other year because because it's sometimes it lands on
Hmm.
my son's birthdays every year, so that's a bummer.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But when
yeah.
you mentioned the
Yeah.
Impossibles, like we got I'm interviewing Rory tomorrow for that, and him and I go way back to when the Hippos played with the
Yeah.
Impossibles and fucking shitload of all those other Fuel by Ramen bands because JR was from Fuel by Ramen for a little bit. I dealt with Jake and Vinny back then in the
Yeah.
90s, so that's how we go way back with those guys. So that'll be fun tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be neat. So I haven't seen
Nice.
those guys in
Definitely
forever.
tell Rory I say hello.
Oh, I will.
My,
Yeah,
what's funny is Rory used to work for Apple in Austin, and he was in a meeting once and said something about something, and my brother was in the same meeting and was like, oh, you know my brother, and like so they like connected for half a second, and I thought that that was really funny because my brother's not a punk rock guy at all.
yeah,
Like he's I think self-admittedly he's a nerd. No shade, but uh, yeah, it was fun to see that kind of like come together. And I'm really excited to see Rory and Gabe, especially Gabe. I know Gabe was having a really rough time with COVID and was really freaked out about it and wasn't leaving the house. And so to see him turn that corner and like be like, okay, we can go play shows.
yeah,
And like they're playing shows with Slow Reader, which are like more chill, intimate shows. I'm really proud of those guys, and I feel really good. It's always nice to see guys that are kind of your peers, at least age wise, playing music again.
yeah. Like your other buddy, Slow Gherkin, and that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be out we'll be out in England at the same time as them. We're both playing Manchester Punk Fest.
Oh, very nice.
It'll be fun to see those guys out there. And I have to think that Aaron and I had a little bit of like help getting them over to Supernova last year. Definitely Aaron. But I think I definitely put in my 2 cents too.
Yeah,
It's just like there's things are so different than they were 20 years ago. Like you used to have to drive your van all the way across the country to play these shows, and now you can get on an airplane and
yeah.
you know borrow amps and drums and hit it, and it's great.
Let everyone share the same backline.
Yeah, and it's just so much easier on everybody's backs too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, since we know that ska doesn't pay the bills, do you mind or do you care to share what your occupation is?
Yeah, I mean, my wife is the breadwinner in this family, so she has the like really serious job that makes a ton of money. But I work as a group fitness instructor, so I teach a couple classes at the gym. One is a spin class and one is a weightlifting class. I also work as a um, preschool music teacher. So I probably do about 20 hours of that a week, um, going to different preschools and elementary schools and performing these little 20 to 30-minute sets every couple days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm pretty booked up usually. And then Thursday and Friday, I've got some floating gigs that I do. And it feels just like playing punk rock. Like, I'm playing these songs that are like little kid songs, but these kids are just like rabid animals, like all over the place, just like climbing on me and like, screaming in my face. I just came from one like a couple hours ago, and we were singing this song called I Know a Chicken, where the kids have to repeat everything I say, and I was singing my part, and they were just shrieking back at me as loud as they could, and it was making me laugh like every single time because it's obviously like the teachers are like So over it. The teachers who were there all day. But I just think it's hilarious. Like, and so they see that I think it's hilarious, and they just keep doing it even more. And I just love these kids so much. They're absolutely hilarious, and I hope that they eventually find their way into punk rock. And I hope that like somewhere down the road, one of these kids who's like 5 years old now, like finds an Omnigone record and is just like, what? Like that's my old preschool music teacher screaming. Okay, interesting. I had one elementary school teacher clock me. She recognized me from she'd seen me play before. And so that was weird.
That it was weird.
She like pulled out one pulled out one of my old CDs. Was like, "This is you, right?" And I was like, "Yes, that is. That is me." So,
That's pretty funny. Is it at the preschool?
yeah.
I mean, are your kids are what? Are they younger or what are the age of your children?
They're older now. I've got a
Oh,
14-year-old and a 12-year-old, but I when my kids were in preschool, I did music at that preschool. And I continued to do that until the pandemic. And then actually the person who ended up taking over after the pandemic is my boss now for the preschool music company that I work for. And it's just something that he built up DIY all on his own. He's a guy that I know from punk rock. He played drums in a band called Chachi, Boba Fett, and the Wookiee. I don't think he'd mind me saying that. His name's Steve. But he also plays in a more current band called Aloha Screwdriver. And he's a great drummer. He plays ukulele when he does his children's music, baritone ukulele. And I ran into him at the grocery store one day, and he was just like, "I'm doing this thing. If you want to get in on it." And I was like, "Yeah, let me think about it." And the more I thought about it, I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun." So, I'm only about 3/4 of the way through my first year of doing it, but it's been a blast. And I get to play guitar, every day now and sing every day, and so I feel like I'm practicing a lot more. So that's good.
and you're grooming the next generation, which is even better.
Yeah, hopefully getting them, psyched on music, and psyched on using their voices.
Hmm.
One of the things I really was paying a lot of attention to this week was making sure these kids are taking a lungful of air before they try to sing, because a lot of these kids will just start singing and realize, and then their voices peter out. And I'm like, no, you gotta breathe. Like,
Hmm.
get the air in there first and then start singing. And then the other thing that I do to make money is I do illustration. So I do a bunch of art for different bands. When they ask me for it, I'm always open to do um, commissions for bands. I did one for The Boy Detective recently. Um, yeah, it's fun stuff. Sometimes I have good ideas for merch designs, but they don't really match up with what I would want to do for my band. So I can always hand them off to somebody else.
Pretty neat,
I've drawn a
man.
lot of stuff for Half Past Two,
Oh, okay, yeah. I think Tara may have mentioned something like that.
because they have a cuter aesthetic, and I kind of some of the stuff that I draw is like real cute, and that Omnigon's not really a cute band.
Right. They're not. You guys are not.
Yeah,
Now for you, we got just a few more questions. What's your pet peeve or
sure.
addiction?
Pet peeve or addiction. I'll give you one of each. Pet peeve. Uh, any band that gets up on stage and has a snark tuner on their instrument. That's one of those little clip-on tuners,
Hmm.
and they leave it on the end of their guitar the whole time they're playing. Um, I won't be able to focus on your music the entire time you're playing. I will just stare at your tuner the entire time, especially if you're like a band that rocks out, because I'll be like, that thing's gonna come off and go flying and hit somebody, and it just looks dumb. Like, it's just a dumb looking piece of equipment. And I have one. I have one on my acoustic guitar right now. And kids ask me about it all the time. And I should probably take it off when I play for the kids, but it's like, then I have to like shove it in my pocket. But at a punk rock show, you're playing amplified. just buy a Boss tuner pedal, like plug into that. Like that's and then also when you're tuning, then it's like silent. Like I don't like when bands tune out loud.
Yeah.
So there's my pet peeve. I don't like that. Addiction. I mean, other than like caffeine, I've been a lot better about drinking caffeine lately. I used to drink like a whole pot like every day, at least like a whole pot to the dome.
Damn.
Um, what am I really addicted to right now? Oh, survival horror video games. I just bought the new Resident Evil, and I'm playing that with my son. And hopefully after this, I'm gonna go put in like an hour of Resident Evil with him.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Um, Now's the time when I we always see some if you're wearing a t-shirt to show your t-shirt. So what t-shirt you got on today?
Oh, okay. I got on. We toured back in
Oh,
October. We toured with Hell Beach out to Fest. Hell Beach. They're on Uncle Style Records,
okay,
um, which is the subsidiary of Bad Time Records that is not ska punk.
cool.
I think there's a couple bands kind of doing the like spiritual cramp style punk rock thing. And I think Hell Beach is better than all of them. Um, I think they're better than Spiritual Cramp. No shade to Spiritual Cramp. Hell Beach is just a better band. And I think all the other bands that are trying to do it are not as good as Hell Beach, straight up. So Hell Beach, Hell Beach, Hell Beach, go listen to them. Um, I think their album's called Beach World. I think they're working on a brand new one. Hopefully they'll blow up huge one day and Jordan will take us on tour.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Mine's just Pet Cemetery. That's all. Oh, I guess there.
But like it's not Pet Symmetry, the band. It's the Stephen King
Oh yeah, the Stephen King
book.
one with the Dead is Better one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what does
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
future hold for
Um
Omnigone? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude.
more oh yeah, just more music. Um I'd love for to keep just putting out albums, keep playing shows. Um I'd really love to play with the Impossibles. Um, I'm actually gonna probably hit up Rory and be like, "So, Rory, what's up?" Um, I don't know. I think they're really great. I would love to see MUT30 one more time uh, before they are not a band ever again. Um, I think they're one of the best ska punk bands out there. I think Dan
Mhm.
Pothouse is one of the best musicians ever. Uh, what else? What else is gonna happen with us? I don't know. Like we're just gonna keep going. Like Barry and I just, we talk probably at least every other day, if not every week. I feel like we're just totally aligned on what we want out of a band,
Mhm.
and that we both care about our families and want to stay close with our families, but we want to play punk. And it's so much fun. Music is so much fun. I wish that people would keep that in the forefront of their minds, that music is supposed to be fun
Mhm.
over anything else. Fuck all the other bullshit. Just have fun. And if you're not having fun, figure out why you're not having fun and make it fun again, because it should be fun, like at every level. And I have friends who do insane, huge tours and work in all sorts of different parts of playing music,
Mhm.
and I still see them having fun. So music should be fun.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
Now, where can we find your music, both physical and digital?
Omnigone.band. That's pretty much where everything's linked to. I'm pretty sure physical copies of Feral are sold out, and I don't know when it'll get a repress. Against the Rest was pressed when Bad Time was kind of having more of a boom, so there's still physical copies of that out there. There's no physical copies left of No Faith. But we'll have new stuff out soon. There's a Bad Time Records comp for the new tour that just is coming out soon. We have a new song on that. Really happy with how that song turned out. Really excited to see all the other stuff. Um, and on 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, I get to see Bad Operation and Jer and Kill Lincoln and Half Past Two and hang out
Mhm.
with all my homies and hopefully see them a little bit before the show, get some coffee, get some food, and just get to hang out with those guys for a little bit because it's like anytime we're all together, it feels like that should be the natural state of things, but we all live so far apart.
Mm. That's what I was trying to get the all the bands on the BTR tour there. You guys and Half Past Two, and then I reached out to Kill Lincoln and Jer and who's the other one?
Bad Operation.
And Bot Operation, but I haven't got a response from those three. So if
Oh,
you do
bummer.
talk to
Yeah, they're
them, let them
probably
know.
all a lot busier than I am right now.
Yeah.
I'll let them know for sure.
You
Yeah,
do let
yeah.
them know.
They yeah, I know they've all been hustling trying to get stuff done. I had Greg call me the other day. Greg's having a couple boxes of Bad Operation merch shipped to my house, so um yeah, I know that they're just scrambling. Like all this stuff is like, I feel like it does everybody does okay, but it's like, and we all kind of know what we're doing, but it's like you're constantly like figuring out like the best way to do something, and it's
Hmm.
like, you know, it's like, oh man, like you look at your van and you're like, oh, I guess we do need to like ship some of this merch ahead. I guess we can't take it all with us. Like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe everybody needs to take a little bit less clothing um with them. And for a band like Bad Op, I think there's what, 5 people in that band? Kill Lincoln is 6. Jer Band is 7. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there. So, um, if they don't write you back right away, there's just everybody's scrambling trying to get ready for this tour. So,
Yeah, I'm sure.
thanks for trying though.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Now, any last words that you have for the viewers of this channel and your fans out there?
Uh, don't take everything on the internet so seriously. Um, don't comment on everything right away. Um, have fun, drink water, try to get more sleep, forgive yourself for things, and listen to new bands. Listen to the old ones that you used to listen to, but also listen to new music. Um, and and eat your vegetables. Yeah,
Okay.
just I'm basically just being a dad right now. Um, here's the thing: is like my favorite thing in the world is people, and my least favorite thing in the world is people. So figure that out. Like, just be good. Be good to each other. Um, this is all going to be done before we know it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Adam, we appreciate you. Appreciate you taking the time out of your family life and your busy schedule to talk with us. Um, can't wait to see
Thanks,
your
man.
band play. Have a great time on the BTR tour and with the new music. And we'll definitely stay in touch with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Daryl.
All right, man. Take care. See ya.
Hell yeah.
Oops.